The shelves do not go empty slowly. They collapse. One week, everything still looks normal. The next, deliveries are late, prices jump, and people start buying like panic is a sport. Then one day you walk into a store expecting to get through the week, and what is left on the shelves is not food, it is packaging, sugar, and regret. That moment is already too late. Because you do not build survival skill when the store is empty. You reveal whether you built it before. And that is the part most people hate admitting. We have confused access with resilience. We think because something is always on a shelf, it will always stay there. But frontier families lived in a world where there was no shelf to trust in the first place. They stayed fed because they understood systems: water, cold, salt, fire, storage, timing, labor, reuse. Some of the visuals in this video are cinematic AI-assisted scenes based on real historical practices and practical survival principles. They are here to help you see the system clearly, not to romanticize the past. This is not a list of 25 random tricks, because random tricks fail under pressure. What works is a chain. Find water, keep food cool, preserve nutrition, hold heat, stretch calories, replace what runs out. Miss one link and everything behind it starts collapsing. So today we are not rushing through every frontier skill ever used. We are starting with the ones that matter most when the shelves go bare. The skills that keep you fed first. And the first one is water. Before food, before cooking, before preservation, before comfort, you solve water. Frontier families did not stand on raw land and hope. They read it: low ground where moisture gathers, healthier green growth in dry, repeated animal movement, places where one part of the land is holding more life than the rest. Water leaves evidence. That matters because without water, your whole practical survival system falls apart. You cannot cook dried food. You cannot wash, produce. You cannot preserve. Well, you cannot stay long enough to build any kind of reliable household routine. Even direction depends on it. Water flow tells you where land falls, where settlement is more likely, and where living is less punishing. If you cannot read land, you cannot build food security on it. And this is where the first deadly mistake shows up. Most people start with calories. Frontier logic started with water, location, and storage conditions. Food is useless if you cannot process it, cook it, or keep it from spoiling. Start in the wrong place, and the rest of the chain never stabilizes. Once they found water, they did not just drink it. They built around it. Long before refrigeration became a product, people created cold systems using what was already there. The earth itself, running water, shade, airflow, seasonal timing. A root cellar sounds primitive until you understand what it really is. It is temperature control using earth instead of electricity. A cool, dark, stable place where respiration slows and spoilage slows. That means potatoes do not rot in a week. Carrots do not collapse overnight. Apples stop behaving like fragile food and start behaving like stored food. Time stretches, and when time stretches, pressure drops. That pressure matters more than people think, because a food system does not fail only when the last item is gone. It starts failing when everything becomes urgent at once. Too much to eat now. Too much to preserve now. Too much to lose if you get one thing wrong. Root cellars were not clever side projects. Teiwere, low-cost food pressure relief. Then there was this cold running water used as infrastructure. Milk, butter, meat, fruit, vegetables, all kept cooler because someone understood location before someone invented a machine. Before refrigeration was something you bought, it was something you positioned. That is a line worth remembering. Because self-reliance is not just owning more. It is learning how location, temperature, and timing do part of the work for you. And that leads to another mistake. Modern people often think storage means stacking more food in more bins. But in a real survival system, storage is not just quantity. It is temperature, humidity, airflow, rot control, access, timing. You can lose a pile of food fast if the environment is wrong. Frontier people knew that because they had no backup truck coming tomorrow. But keeping food cool is only half the battle. Food that lasts still has to sustain you. That is where fermentation stops being a food trend and becomes food insurance. Cabbage, salt, thyme. That is not a rustic hobby. That is a winter system. Because starvation is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet. Calories may still be present while resilience leaks out of the body. Your food fills your stomach, but your system starts running poorer, weaker, slower. Frontier families learned which foods got them through hard months and which foods only filled space for a moment. Fermentation mattered because it helped stretch useful nutrition into seasons where fresh food disappeared. It was not glamorous. It was not optional. It was practical survival. And here comes another deadly mistake. Most people think food preservation means making food last. That is only half right. The better question is, does it still do useful work for your body when you need it most? If the answer is no, you are storing bulk, not resilience. Then comes salt. When cold was not enough, salt changed the rules. It bought time. It slowed decay. It made meat and other foods less fragile. But this is also where honesty matters. Historical salt curing was real. It absolutely helped people preserve food. But that does not mean every old method is automatically safe to copy carelessly today. The lesson is not blindly repeat the past. The lesson is that frontier households understood process. Salt bought time. Discipline bought safety. People survived because they took preservation seriously, not casually. The same is true of smoke. Old smoking and curing practices were not fake, but they were not sloppy either. This is where modern survival content often goes soft and sentimental. It shows the romance and hides the control. Frontier families did not get rewarded for a beautiful method. They got rewarded for food that did not poison them or spoil too soon. So here is the pattern break. Old does not automatically mean safe. Modern does not automatically mean better. The real question is whether you understand the mechanism well enough to apply it honestly. Now let's talk about the resource frontier families, treated almost like a survival currency. Fat, when an animal was processed, the smart households were not only thinking about tonight's meal, they were thinking about calories, cooking, medium, lighting, soap, waterproofing, reuse. One resource extended across multiple needs. That mindset is almost foreign now. Modern systems replaced by category, frontier systems converted by need. And that matters when shelves go empty, because when supply tightens, waste becomes a luxury. Fat stops being an extra. It becomes stored survival value, the kind that keeps work going, cooking going, and food from becoming too lean to sustain hard labor. That is the first half of the system. Find water. Build cold. Preserve nutrition. Buy time with salt. Convert resources instead of wasting them. And that still is not enough. Because even a good food system fails if you lose heat. Heat is not separate from food. Heat is part of the food system. You can store food perfectly and still lose if you cannot cook it. Warm yourself enough to work, or keep tomorrow's fire alive. One of the most overlooked frontier skills was this: banking a fire through the night. Not rebuilding it, protecting it. Keeping a living bed of coals under ash so morning does not start from zero. That matters because starting from zero costs fuel, labor, time, and body heat. And in a real scarcity situation, those are not small expenses. They are survival math. Then comes the harder version of the same problem. Rain wet, wet, wet. Damp ground, cold hands. This is where tools stop looking heroic and knowledge starts doing. material work. Dry wood often still exists inside larger wet wood, beneath bark. Inside protected sections that surface weather has not fully penetrated. Structure matters. Airflow matters. Sequence matters. A tool can fail. Understanding usually fails last. That is another pattern break modern people need. We are trained to shop for preparedness before we understand system behavior. Frontier families did the opposite. They learned behavior first. Tools came second. That is why their low-cost systems often outperform more impressive equipment when conditions got ugly. And here is another deadly mistake. Most people think the answer to a failing system is more force, bigger fire, more fuel, more motion, more panic. Frontier logic lean the other way. Better placement, better design, better conservation, better sequence, not flashy, just effective. Eventually, of course, storage runs down. That is where the system has to replace itself. Frontier survival was not built on random luck in the woods. It was built on reading patterns, tracks, disturbed grass, repeated paths, small signs that show movement is not random. Animals follow need just like people do. Water, shelter, food, safer routes, and the people who depended on them. Learn to see those repeating lines. Not for sport, for calories. This matters because survival is not about one dramatic success. It is about consistent return. That is why small game mattered. Low input protein, repeatable chances, lower noise, lower cost, less dependence on one huge lucky break. The same principle shows up again and again in the strongest system is not the one with the best story. It is the one you can repeat under stress. And that brings us to the biggest frontier, advantage of all. Not one trick, not one plant, not one storage method. The real skill was clarity across the whole chain, where food comes from. When it appears, how fast it spoils. What slows, that's what cold can do for you. What salt can do for you. What fire costs. What labor costs. What gets reused. What gets wasted? What has to happen now so something else is still possible 3 months later? From land to storage to plate. Nothing isolated. Everything connected. That is why this video is not really about nostalgia. It is about practical survival and self-reliance under pressure. It is about recognizing that a household is stronger when it knows how to function with less outside input. Not perfectly, but longer, and longer matters. Because when stores run empty, the first people in real danger are not always the poorest. Sometimes they are the most dependent. The people whose entire system collapses the moment outside access disappears. Frontier families survived because they did not hand one company, one shelf, or one weekly delivery the power to decide whether they ate. That does not mean you should. Pretend it is 1820. It means you should recover the parts of that knowledge that still solve modern problems. Here is the recap. Find water before comfort.
We are so grateful for this
Read
bountiful
land.
harvest.
Instead of guessing, use earth
It all
and
looks
running water
absolutely
as
wonderful.
low-cost cold infrastructure. When conditions allow, preserve what your body actually needs, not just what fills space. Treat salt and smoke as serious preservation logic, not folklore theater. See fat as stored survival value, not waste. Protect your fire like tomorrow depends on it, and understand the whole chain instead of worshiping one clever trick. Now let me give you the wrong version one more time, because this is where people still fail. They stock calories but ignore water. They store food but ignore temperature. They preserve bulk but ignore nutrition. Admirable methods but skip the discipline those methods required. They buy tools before they understand systems. And then, when pressure hits, they blame the method instead of the mistake. That is what this channel is trying to break. Not just dependence, lazy dependence. The kind that feels prepared because it owns things, while having no real idea how those things fit together. Frontier households were not stronger because life was easier. They were stronger because the system was visible to them. And visibility changes behavior. When you understand the chain, you stop asking, "What should I buy next?" You start asking better questions. What rots first? What holds longest? What fails without water? What fails without heat? What can I reposition instead of powering? What can I preserve instead of replacing? What can I turn into 3 uses instead of 1? That is where practical survival stops being entertainment and starts becoming structure. We did not cover all 25. We covered the ones that matter most first, the ones that change your odds immediately. Because there is another layer we have not even touched yet. Soap systems, cordage, field ready, repair logic, household resilience skills that quietly decide whether a food system holds together or starts unraveling under stress. And those skills matter too. A lot. We only covered the most important ones. Here. If you want the rest, leave it in the comments so I know you are serious about seeing part 2, not curious, serious. Because the next step is not just surviving when stores run empty, it is building a home system that keeps working even when they stay empty.